Right. Hopefully you can hear me. Now, I don't have a screen on independent to the game, so there will be chat popping up on the side if you want to say hi. Otherwise, I won't know you're there. So forgive me if I'm particularly rude. The First Descendant, and I've been playing this pretty much since the launch of the official game. And really enjoying it. If I mean, it's your typical kind of shooter looter RPG. If you're in to have ever played or understand Warframe, Outrider, or Destiny, I guess, then a lot of this will be familiar to you. But like all of these kinds of games, there's a lot to it, a lot to it. And I'm not going to suggest for 1 minute that I've blown the froth off of this particular beer, but I have watched a few videos, other people's videos, picked up some stuff that I wasn't aware of. But it is a grind, and it's not for everybody. But I particularly like these kind of games. So I'm running with, today at least, or at least at this moment in time, one of two of the characters that I've unlocked. This one being Bunny. I also have Lipik, I think it's pronounced. Hello, Al. How are you, my friend? Good to see you, bro. Thanks for joining me on this sunny London and Devon afternoon. It's actually been miserable, but hopefully you're well. So I'm going to come to this young lady. You'll see there's a yellow diamond right above Anais, I think it's pronounced. And this is where you grind stuff. Let's go in and have a look. So again, if you're familiar with Warframe, you'll remember that on your ship, you can build warframes, i.e. skins or characters with different attributes, as well as weapons and other odds and bits and pieces. And you do pretty much do the same thing here as well. So I've it's called a research. I've researched these two items. There's an ultimate gun or an exotic gun or a legendary gun, depending on the terminology of the kind of games that you may or may not have played in the past, and a precision phase exchanger, which, I mean, there's just all this stuff is, you know how it goes with these games. They make names up. Half of the battle is just remembering what half of the terms are. Anyway, let's claim the gun and this thing that we've built earlier. We'll have that one. A little bit of an animation. Ta-da! Out of this little box. There it is. I have no idea if it's any good, but I had the materials, so I thought I'd build it. And skip the. We'll skip it. We'll skip it is what we'll do. I also need another phase exchanger, actually, I think. Anyway, you need all this malarkey if you want to get guns and stuff. You will get guns out in the world when you're doing your thing, shooting and looting. But you won't get the kind of guns and the weaponry and the bits and pieces that are available to build. And of course, it wouldn't be a grinding free-to-play unless you needed materials, and those materials you can only get from doing certain quests and missions, and even then the materials need to be made into more materials that need to be grinded, and so on and so forth. And to be fair, that's not for everybody. I totally get that. But any road up. So I've got Thunder Cage as an ultimate, which I'm really enjoying using. And actually it's two submachine guns that I'm using there, and a rocket launcher. But let's have a look at that gun that we just created. So it's a fairly low DPS, as you can see, compared to the Devil's Call, which we're seeing on the panel on the right hand side. Significantly lower DPS. Everything that you build or research it comes in at base level DPS, so you have to basically infuse another weapon into it to adopt its DPS and so on and so forth. So that requires more materials, of course it does. But anyway, let's have a little butchers at this. What are its perks? Let's have a look. Details. A weapon appropriate for a Descendant skilled in marksmanship and in targeting the enemy's weak points. A Descendant with strong marksmanship skills will be able to utilize its high performance potential. So it's probably got a low aim, or what do you call it? His brain's gone. That's actually interesting. This is range, 50 meters. Anyway, here's its unique ability. Let's have a look. On hitting an enemy's weak point, it inflicts the unique ability of devotion mark on the target enemy. On hitting an ally, that ally's shield is restored at the cost of your MP. That's interesting. If your current MP is less than the MP cost, this effect is not triggered. So I guess it's a gun to use if you are running with a team, and the MP is it's an energy that you need to use your attribute skills. In the case of young Bunny here, for example, she has an electrical field. I mean, basically all of her attributes revolve around electricity and shocking. I'll show you in a second. We'll go and do some actual running around and stuff. She's pretty good at taking out crowds of enemies. However, she loses her shield really quickly. So my other Descendant, which is, whoops, sorry, wrong one. This is my other Descendant, Lepic or Lepic or Lepic or Lepic. He's a demolitionist. I mean, he's just grenades for dinner, but he has much stronger, tankier abilities. So his shield lasts a hell of a lot longer than young Bunny. And I found, I mean, you know, I'll show you, there are absolutely dozens. She's shut up, Bunny. There are dozens and dozens of Descendants. You see them all down here. So the idea is that you, and I don't think this is an exhaustive list, by the way, you basically build the Descendants, the Warframe, the Guardian, whatever, depending on what terminology you're most familiar with. You basically build them as you want, with obviously grinding for materials and stuff. Some of them are ridiculous, and as of course it's a free-to-play, as you can imagine, there is indeed a shop where you can skip that entire process and just buy them. But they don't come cheaply. You use Caliber, which is the in-game currency, thusly. And just to give you you choose one of three to begin with, and I chose this fella, which I'm really glad I did, actually. I think he's a pretty good balanced character to choose. Since then, I managed to grind enough materials to build Bunny. But I've seen a lot of people using Freyna, which is a kind of toxin character, and another one that I've seen used a lot. But for example, so old SCEMO here is 900 Caliber, and the price of Caliber, and we'll have a look at it here. So in order to buy that dude, you're going to have to spend about £16, I guess. But it doesn't stop there, because you'll need to upgrade them to get them to a decent level, and that's going to cost you more as well. To be honest, I have invested a little bit. I bought the Battle Pass, which wasn't too bad. It was about £7, I think, which, you know, is on a par with any game, any of these games that have a Battle Pass. And I have so far unlocked all of these. So you get a half-decent rocket launcher at the outset, the first thing you unlock. As you can see, the free tabs are stuff that you can unlock without paying for the battle pass, and that's actually reasonable gear. And there's your season level. So I'm on the season level 8, and I think it goes up to 196. There you go. But it's a fairly slow grind to get through the battle pass, to be honest. There are some neat little tricks for grinding faster, which I'll show you in a second. Which actually were my big tip of the day, because they made a huge difference to me in leveling up this new character, she is now higher level than my other character, and I only built her a few hours ago. So I'll show you how to do that if you're interested. As I mentioned already, it is a free game. It's free to play on every platform, from PlayStation 5 or Xbox, or of course PC. It's also on GeForce Now, Boosteroid. I don't think it's on Luna, but certainly you can grab it for free from Steam and play it on GeForce Now, and it plays perfectly fine on there. The only thing I will say, though, which is a tad annoying, if you're going to play it on GeForce Now, and it would be remiss of me not to point this out, if I hold down the option button, I go into my settings, and you will want to be doing this to adjust things like your controller speed, or your mouse speed, or that kind of stuff. Messing about with HDR settings, because I find that the out-of-the-box ones are a bit stark. All that kind of malarkey. However, here's the problem. On GeForce Now, holding down this button to get to the settings brings up the options for GeForce Now. And there's no way to override. You can't change this setting in-game, and you can't change that setting in the GeForce Now interface either. So a workaround, and it does work, is that you can actually access the settings when you first log into the game by holding down the X button if you've got an Xbox controller, or the square button if you've got a PlayStation controller. So a bit annoying. You need to go to the main menu. You need to quit out of the game if you want to make any changes to the settings in playing it on GeForce Now. But you do get the glorious 4080 experience. So having said that, apart from ray tracing, which I think you can have on PlayStation, and I presume on Xbox as well, with PlayStation, you have to go to the fidelity mode in order to get, sorry, not that screen, let's go back. In order to get graphics, here we go. In order to have ray tracing on, I think you have to choose the fidelity mode. And I think I'm right in saying you can only do that from the main menu. So I haven't bothered, because I find the performance mode looks brilliant, and it's 60 frames per second, and it works really well on PlayStation. I'll explain in a second why I'm playing on PlayStation as well. But before I do that, I just want to double check that you're getting audio, because often I've yapped for hours only to find that here we go. Perfect. There I am. Only to find that I'm not audible, and that's why people come and go really quickly. They just think, oh, he's not chatting. I'll move on. Anyway, there's a quick overview. What we're going to do is you start off on this area, Albion, on the map, which I think is Old English for England, actually. But anyway, you can see here these areas to be unlocked, to the grey areas. I haven't got that far yet in the mission, the main mission. And then these lighter blue-coloured areas have been unlocked. You start in Albion, you then go to, I think it's Kingston, Sterile Land, Vespers. I'm not sure what comes next. We have a little purple. If I go to quest, my main quests and then my Descendant exclusive quests. I actually have a bunny exclusive quest, which I haven't done anything about down there. But I did promise that I would show you. Oh, and this is Albion in more detail. Let me zoom out. It's R2 and R2. There we go. This is the main area. This is your HQ. This is the tower in Destiny, if you like, or your ship in Warframe. And you can see with all of these little icons, these little diamond icons, these are the vendors, all of them across the entire area will be needed at some point. You have your, let me just go back to my character so I can show you. You have up, where are we? Oh yeah, sorry, there it is, top left. Your level, your character level, and your mastery rank. So, and then there's a battle pass rank as well on top of all of this. And the mastery rank is essentially, it unlocks things like additional inventory boxes and that kind of stuff. So, the individual character level, as you go higher, as you would expect, the enemies equally can get more challenging. But what I'm going to quickly show you, if you do want to go into the game, this is just a quick way of leveling up. I mean, you don't need to do this, by the way, at all, and I'll show you in a second. You don't need to do this at all. But if you're building a new character, as I did with Young Bunny here, then this is a really neat way to get the level up. Oh, I tell you what I should have done. I should have leveled up that hand cannon, the new one. But anyway, I'm not too worried. What did I come up here for? Do you know, I've forgotten. I'm sure there was a reason I came up here. I mean, I can, while I'm here, show you where the mastery, this is where you increase your mastery rank. And I'm not ready to do that just yet. I think I've got a little bit more to do. But when we go and have a look in a second at the area that you can do a rapid level up, we'll go over a mastery rank guaranteed. Right, before we do that, it's also very much a social game. I absolutely recommend that you gang up with some friends, or a friend at least. As you can see, we've got some familiar names here: Caseboard, Gem, and Spectres, who are doing really well. Gem's on mastery rank 11. I think I'm on mastery rank 8 or 9, and then my good friend Philip here is on mastery rank 5. We'll be no doubt hooking up a bit later. It's cross-platform as well, so doesn't matter what platform they're on, you can play with them. The one big tip as well in that respect, spent ages trying to hook up with my friend Black Star Champ, Philip. We discovered in the end that if you haven't registered your account with Nexon, the developers, then you're going to struggle because it won't let you connect. Once he'd done that and we restarted both our games, we were able to connect up, which was a bonus. And you can see over here as well, look, we've got some people on a PC. I assume that's an Xbox icon, and PlayStation as well. My good self, in fact, on PlayStation. Mastery rank 9. There we go. Right, so let me show you my tip for leveling up your character. I remember why I came up here now, because you need to. In order to go to special operations. So as you saw me going into that area there, these are the maps that are unlocked. The one you want is that one, Defend Albion Resource. Now this is a bit of a grind. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. You're looking at about 15-20 minutes per session. As you can see, it's a match-made encounter. With this character, I'll show you something quick as you need. Right, as soon as you can, run up here, get up there, because this is where we're gonna stake this as our territory. Here we go, and this is basically waves of enemies. There will be several waves of enemies, and starts in 10 seconds. And we're just going to keep killing the waves of enemies. That's how we're going to level up. But the beauty of it is everybody else killing stuff, here we go, is going to count towards our experience.
The Vulgus have targeted a nearby Albion Kuiper storage facility.
Let me just quickly turn the audio down if we've got enough time before we get... There we go. This character, as I said earlier, she is a... Oops, I haven't got enough energy yet, so we just shoot stuff. And then I'll show you once I've got my energy up. Bearing in mind, she has no shield. I mean, she does, but it goes down in no time. It really doesn't matter if other people join in and shoot your enemies, because, as I've said, you pick up the XP in any case. It doesn't matter. Right, see the two blue bars at the bottom? We want the one at the very bottom to get to the far right. That's a bit like our super in Destiny. Once that happens, we can use our main attribute to run around, and as we run around, we just kill everything that's in our path. We don't need to shoot anything, and it means it's just a really great way to grind. If you watch the bar at the top right corner there that says 30, that will be going up the more stuff we kill, the more stuff others kill. In the areas of this map, there are others that are encountering enemies like this. I'm using a fairly well-spec'd gun, which is why these things are going down pretty quickly. Wait. Alright, we're there. So, next round, and the little red tubes. Here we go. Alright, so as I run around, these just die. We'll keep this up as long as we can. Look at that, we're not even having to fire a single wave cleared. Perfect. Now that blue bar now will stay there quite a long time. More damage we do, the more it will stay there. So it's not a cheat, it's designed this way, but it is a brilliant little cheese because you can just essentially run around this area killing stuff and letting that bar go ever higher. Oh, he's a hard one. There we go. You can, of course, just run around helping others to kill their stuff. What you do find is it goes up to about wave 8, and it gives you an opportunity to bail out. If you stay, I think we're back to the... Whoa. What I found was that it gets increasingly hard, and because she struggles with her shield, I mean, you could build a tankier version of her with a higher, a more resilient shield, but that relies on modules, and you can grind them. Takes a long time, or you can find them. I love the little laugh as well. She reminds me of Harlequin, and that kind of mischievous, psychopathic creature. There we go, we've gone a season level up already. That's essentially another tog in our battle pass, or tab in our battle pass, so that's already achieved. Those of you that have been keeping an eye on the progress bar at the top right, our level, you'll see that going up nicely. We could just stand here and do nothing, quite honestly, because other people are grinding away to generate XP. But it's pretty cool to do it yourself, particularly with your guns, because it'll also level up your weapons as well. There we go, wave cleared. We've almost got to level 31. And at some point, it's going to kick into Mastery rank 10. Absolutely will happen. So this is a brilliant tip. I wouldn't necessarily recommend you do this from day one, because you really kind of want to experience the game and understand it better. And, your enemies are going to get harder around the world as well as you level up. So, maybe chill, sit back a bit and level up in a normal way. But when you're building new Descendants, as I have done here, well, I think I've run out. So let's get back. There we go. Level reached, 31. And actually, we may not make the mastery because it looks like we've only recently turned into rank 9. Because I would recommend bailing at the first point in the game. It gets quite tough. And although the rewards do improve, what I found, or what I have found, is that with this character on a standard build, the shield is destroyed quite quickly. And you are then reliant on your teammates, your match-made teammates, to pop up and revise you, and that's going to really cheese them off after a while. You go down quite a lot. Let's take these guys out. So it's not impossible to go through a couple of levels. I think when I played earlier with this character, I ran her through the first 7 or 8 waves 2 or 3 times. Maybe I spent an hour here. And in that time, I took her from level, I want to say level 10 to level 26. And increase mastery rank to 2 times maybe, and unlock 6 battle pass tabs. So you can really significantly. I mean, look at that. We're already a quarter through level 31 on our way to level 32. And yes, I know it's a grind, and it can be mind-numbingly boring, but you certainly don't want to do it all day long. I'm just recommending it for maybe an hour after you've leveled up a new character or built a new character. Actually, I think our things run out. So, and you'll see we've already starting to get more enemies appear, and these are more resilient enemies as well.
What a disaster.
There we go. How are we doing there? Almost halfway through level 31. And we've doubled the amount of mastery rank as well. See the electrical bar that's emanating, right? That's now gone down again. I'm using this particular weapon quite a bit because it's an ultimate weapon, which is the equivalent of an exotic, and it has this electrical perk, funnily enough. So it fires electricity, and if you've got a few characters kicking around, it does take out a few of them at the same time. So I've been leveling it up, and right, we disappear. Where are we? We're at wave 4. I think it's 7. I mean, there are 21 waves in total, but quite honestly, once you get to wave 11 or 12, it becomes impossible unless you've got a really good, strong, well-maxed, tanky build character. The other one would last longer, but it doesn't have the crowd control perks that this character has, this Descendant has. So I have to rely on grenades, which don't cover a huge distance, as well as my weapons, my guns. And you can see they some of them will run away. Run away! So I just love the fact that this thing runs around and zaps them. They just don't get past you. There's one that got away. Not for long. I think one got... Anyway, the fact that some get away is not an issue, because there is another person. There we go, 32. You see my point? And if you play the normal game, it'll actually take quite a long time to level up. So there's a really fast way of doing it. But yeah, there are other people down there who weren't quick enough to get these choice spots, and they will pick these up, and they're getting RXP, but of course their weapons aren't getting a run out. So, oh, didn't mean to do that one. Total waste. That's just used up all of our energy. We have to build that at the bottom again now, so I'm definitely not able to run around. We'll just walk backwards and pick them out. Wave 5, got a couple more. There's about 2 minutes. It's only 3 seconds anyway now. Watch those, they blow up. Take your shield. There are we, coming up to wave 6. The blue stuff on the floor, that builds the top blue bar, which is for all your other attribute skills, other than the ones I'm using. The red is your health. You can pick up shield, but I haven't seen a great deal of those dropping in this. We can actually. There we go. We've got enough to have that one. So, yeah, the top one is the MP bar, and that one's for your grenades and stuff. I still got it. Oh, I still got it. Well, 32's already halfway to 33. There we go. Yeah, you start to get these little exploders, and they just absolutely drain your shield. Those little fellas. So even though we're up close with our electrical stuff, when you die around you, I see these big tanky guys coming now as we get higher up in the level. They explode and take your shield out. So it just gets harder and harder. And then the waves beyond the one that we're about to get asked if we want to bail from, you get like twice the enemies and they're much tougher. It's good fun, but tougher. As I say, maybe for a more tanky build. Alright, there we go. So what'll happen now is it will say rewards available at the next round, as you can see, after completing this wave. So this is now the final wave, final wave 7, until you get a choice to bail. If you don't bail and you die, you won't lose the rewards. They're banked, which is pretty cool. So it's not the end of the world, and obviously you do get an option to get better rewards. However, I've been as far as the next point to bail, but beyond that it got flipping tough, and it wasn't a problem. It was the problem really was just that I was reliant on this very nice individual who had to keep coming up and resurrecting me, and I'm sure that was getting a bit cheesy for them in the end. Right. Right. We've got a minute left before. You see the volume of these things is starting to pick up now. But it is a great way to level up. We've got to level 33. We're halfway to a rank mastery. I'm going to switch to another weapon to show you. So this is a different submachine gun. It's a lower DPS, so a lower level of gun, so it doesn't take them out quite as quickly as the other one I had. Almost there. 10 seconds. We'll just might get it. Oh no, used it all up. And then finally, I have this thing, which is like obviously a rocket launcher. And like all power weapons, you don't have a huge right. We're going to abort at this point. You see, a lot of them want to continue. I don't care. I'm still aborting. And it tells you what you're likely to get at the next level. It desperately wants me to continue, but I'm not. I'm leaving, and they'll give me lots of time. I can't remember whether it's still, whether it's matchmaking to find someone to go along with them. I can't remember, to be honest. But anyway, we're out, which is good, and this shows us what's happened in that time. So all of our weapons have significantly improved. Geek to Sneak. Hello, my friend. Geeks, look at Geek. He's well ahead there. Look, he's got a shed load of Descendants. So we are going to the minute this concludes. There are, as you can see, there are enemies around us already. We'll close out this and we'll go back to Albion. There we are. So that is an absolutely amazing way to level up any of your new Descendants, or if you want to get the level up on your guns, it's a great way of doing it. Just another thing to bear in mind is that you loot for days in this game and you easily fill up your slots. So the great thing about going back to your base, Albion, is you can spend some time checking out what you've picked up. And there'll always be a little red dot. You won't get a huge amount of loot from there. I mean, it's largely for leveling up than anything else. So we won't have picked up any new weapons or anything along those lines. But when you're out doing main missions in the field, your 88 slots, which won't start as 88, I can't remember what you start with now, 60, they will fill up. And, you will need to decide whether you need to go through each of these. You want to look at the stats. Have they got purple and yellow attributes? Those that have got more yellow. Like look at this. 3 out of the 4 are yellow attributes, ultimate attributes. So, that's maybe a gun to store for a rainy day. Maybe level it up in the future. And then others will have, not great stats. They might be a lower tier, and you might want to either sell those for gold, or you may want to break them down for materials. So lots of decisions to be made, lots of options, usual kind of stuff. And that doesn't just stop with the weapons. You have a reactor, which is the main sort of I don't know, what would you call it, device that essentially boosts your skills, your attributes. So, you need to choose from the ones that you pick up. You pick millions of them up. Do I need all of these? Should I get rid of them? Can I break them down? Again, you've only got 88 slots. They fill up really quickly. And then you have these external components that give you increased shields and increased defense, or just stats and choices for days. Like all these games, it's really quite a mathematical process. So, as I said, if you've played Warframe or even Destiny to a degree, even Division 2, and to a degree, Call of Duty and stuff, there are these aspects that, here we go, we can unlock this. It's a bonus coin. We'll claim that. We can either just click on it here to claim the reward, or you can click on this. I'm not really sure why they give you the two options, but either way, we'll claim it. There we go. So that's now ours, times 30. What's up next? A skin for this. Actually, I think it might be the actual full gun. I'm not sure. Any road, that's fun and games. And you can, to a degree, you can customize your character. However, don't get too excited, because mainly you've got to buy the skins, or if you're very lucky, you may get rewarded one. In the early days of the game, when there were server issues and stuff, the developers very kindly emailed you rewards, which is how I think I got this head skin, because if I unequip it, that's how she actually looks. Bunny looks like a bunny, and I just happen to have this. I prefer this, So put that one on. But as I said, you have to buy them. They don't just end here. There are more in the shop. I think you could probably grind some as well. But it's the same throughout the game. It is, at the end of the day, a free-to-play. They have to make their money from somewhere. But I do think, even if you adamantly and steadfastly decide not to spend a penny on the game, you'll still have a really enjoyable experience. I'm just having a look in my mailbox. 2 reasons. One is that if you do accidentally leave stuff out in the field, this is the equivalent, that's a new word for you, the equivalent of the postmaster in Destiny, and you'll pick up stuff. It doesn't pick everything up. It seems to be choice. It seems to choose the decent stuff and leave the kind of dross out in the field, which is dross, but you can still break it down for materials and sell it to the vendors, necessary vendors. So don't necessarily leave stuff. You could just avoid picking up blue stuff out in the field, but it's all usable, as well as the mailman over there. You've also got a storage box, a couple of places that you can find these throughout the game. And obviously a good place to store weapons that you may or may not want to use in the future, and other bits and pieces, because some of the, for example, I'm storing all my ultimates, all my exotic weapons here, that they're okay, but they may be situational, they may be good for particular bosses or something, and I just don't want to clog up my inventory. The same as if you play Destiny. You're not going to, or Warframe, you're not going to keep everything on your character for fear of clogging up your system. I just thought we may have gone to another mastery rank, but I then recalled that we didn't. So we did go up a level though, which is always cool, and we're halfway to a rank. So that is my recommendation for leveling up a character. If you built more than one, and as I said earlier, you can buy them. They're not massively expensive. I mean, look, if you were to buy this game at a proper... I think it's a high-value game. I genuinely do. I think there's been a lot of work and effort put into this game. And if you were to buy this without the micro transactional stuff, I think you'd be looking at anywhere between $50 to $80, quite honestly, depending where you buy it. So for me, spending $7.99, I think it was, to get enough in-game currency for the battle pass, I think that's, to be fair, I don't think that's an issue. And also, I think it's only fair to reward the developers. But also, having said that, even if you bought another, paid 15 quid and bought yourself a Descendant, you'd still be less than half the price of what you would pay for a game of this quality. So I don't have a massive issue with that. So here we are at the old Research Institute, and she is suggesting that we might want to build these things. Let's have a look at this one. Now, we don't have any of the research materials, these guys over here, that are needed to build this. And then you finally need the code itself, which, if we click on any of these, it will tell us how we get them. And some of them are pretty difficult. So there are various battles and missions that we may need to take. And it's still not guaranteed that you'll get them, even if you do this. There will be a percentage chance that whatever it is that you do, for example, here we go, we need all of these materials. Some of this we've got, look, we've got those two, but we're going to need these two to get this honeycomb material thing, which we'll need one of. So that's really where the grind is in the game. But it's pretty useful because it does tell you, in this case, that it's a place called Agna Desert, normal level, the asylum. It's a mission. However, I haven't unlocked Agna Desert yet. So even if I wanted to, not only am I in insufficient rank, but I have insufficient materials, and I can't. I need to be mastery rank 10 to unlock that one. So nice recommendation, completely useless. But these Descendants, we saw earlier how much we need to pay to buy them. What this says down here is that I'm going to need 400,000 gold. We can see up here we've got 2.1 million. We're going to need 400,000, so we've got enough gold for all of these dudes. But it also shows the materials that are needed as well. And as you can see, I don't have the necessary materials for any of these. So Geek's either purchased his, or he's grinding like a demon to get these materials. But that's the kind of game. It's not for everybody, and there is no PvP. It is purely PvE, as in Warframe. Actually, is there PvP in Warframe? I can't remember. It's been so long since I played it. I got really into it between the two Destinies, between the end of Destiny 1 and the launch of Destiny 2. There were several months, and I really got into Warframe at that point. But Warframe has been around for a long time. It's a very mature and hugely followed game. You even have a marketplace, of course, in Warframe to trade materials to help. There was one good friend of mine who became an absolute trading demon in Warframe. I was always amazed how really switched on he was for trading. But if I wanted to, let's see now, let's have a look at some of these characters. I can't remember, Geek, I only saw a little bit of your message. I think you said you had Visa, or Viesa, which, is that the one that freezes stuff? Yeah, she's really good, actually. I mean, I've seen the people that have come up and rescued Bunny. Viesa seems to be a really good one. So let's see what we would need. We have the gold. That's not an issue. So if we need to, we've got Repton, whatever that is, and we've got semi-permanent plasma, so we're good to go on that. We need fusion plasma battery, and we need a Viesa enhanced cell blueprint. So some of this you may be able to grind anyway within the research area, but we can see here, look, it's fully lit text, so we know that we're good to go in terms of doing these. There's Sterile Land, which we have unlocked, and it tells us, there we go, and we've actually selected the area that we need to go to in order to try and get a random drop of that stuff. So once you've decided, that you want to build, look at this dude, he looks like a K-pop band member. So where were we? Viesa. So okay, I've decided I would like to build myself a Viesa. So we need to grind for those materials, and then we can research at a cost of 400,000 gold, depleting our reserves by 25%, give or take, 20%. I think ish. Anyway, 10%, 5%, whatever. We've got to wait 16 hours before it gets built. Now, yes, of course, you can pay. It will allow you to pay Caliber real world cash to speed that up. But that's exactly, it's a mechanic that's been absolutely taken from Warframe. It's very clever. I mean, it works so well. Look at this. We'd have to wait 8 hours to build this thing, even once we found the materials here, and that goes for all of this stuff. So in building young Viesa, you would need the 16 hours overall, and the 3/8, another 16, 21 hours to grind the materials or research the materials that you need. And then you'd have to go and do an intercept battle in order to unlock the code. So I don't know. I will do more characters, and I'm sure there are simpler ones as well. And some of them, as you go around the world doing missions and things, you will find materials anyway. And look, here we are. We can shortcut some of the stuff. It actually shows you the characters as well, which is quite cool. So Viessa looks like that, just so I can remind myself. And then if we go into the material, see if we can see her. I think that's her there. Yeah. So I got Frenya drop. Nice. But don't have her other materials. I think I've got a ways to go yet. I mean, you will find this stuff, their codes and things will drop as you do the various missions in the game, which is obviously, they show you in the research lab those areas that those bits and pieces exist in, and you do them anyway, as you guys know, those of you that have been playing this already. You kind of do those missions anyway in the first run through the game. So, you've got a strong chance that you will find them as you make your way around. Anyway, let's go down to a planet, or a map on the planet, and have a quick look at some of the local mission stuff that you need to do. Here we are. The graphics are great in this game. I mean, the worlds are so beautifully designed and detailed. This is as I've said, this is the PS5 version, but as I've said, I've also got the Steam version, and I'll be honest, even though this is performance mode, this isn't fidelity mode, I'm really impressed with the graphics, even on the PlayStation, even on console. Jeremy has got some good news. What have you got for us, Jezza?
What are you doing? Sightseeing? This operation is a waste of time, a complete waste.
Yeah, he's a bit of a contrarian, is Jeremy. He's not convinced.
Jeremy, unless your receive is having issues, there is no way you didn't know we were in the middle of an operation. It's prohibited.
Come on,
for
Jezza.
Descendants to deactivate the receives during an operation. If you manually deactivated your receive link, I think that would make your attitude toward the operation uncooperative.
I'd watch what you're saying, Glay. I carried out my side of the operation perfectly. I scouted the entire area thoroughly. I've even confirmed that the Ancestors' ruins are in the deepest part of Vespers.
I really shouldn't do that. I've watched videos that say don't do that, but I just can't be bothered. The worst one, oh no, mate, I'm not going to go for any ultimate. I haven't got, life's too short, and I'm definitely not buying one. I actually prefer my other Descendant, which is the old Lepic. But I'm enjoying Bunny. I just love the running around and killing stuff with my lightning. You recommended not to skip those dialogues. There is definitely some explanation of the story and the game mechanics that it's easy to miss. But interestingly, there is a trainer back at Albion. There's a robot that kind of gives you advanced tips and things. But I don't know why. I assume this is the same on all platforms. But the dialogue goes too fast because it actually doesn't speak. It just makes noises, and then there's subtitles at the bottom. But I'm a really fast reader. I actually watch everything on TV with subtitles because I just love picking up on the nuances of dialogue that you don't get from what they say in the audio. So I don't have a problem reading at pace, and I can't keep up with the dialogue on that training creature. I genuinely think it's a UI or a UX bug or an issue. But anyway, in the main, it's fine. So this little purple thing is essentially what we need to be doing. That's on our next mission. So when you just hover over these with your character, you'll see the pop-up, which tells you how long it's roughly going to take. It says 20 minutes or less. You've got to go in and fight a monster. And it also shows you what's going to drop for undertaking this. Now, it's going to drop a Transcendent module. Now, that's the thing in the top left that is red. Those are extremely rare. That's the first time I've seen one, and obviously it's to do with being the level that I've achieved so far with this character. And you've got a couple of ultimates, some legendaries and bits and pieces and materials no doubt needed for some of the Descendants. And indeed, if you look directly below the red module, you can just make out the face of, I think, that Descendant that just a second ago we were looking at the materials on your 15th Descendant or level 15? Level 15? So this would be indeed one of the missions that you'd need to do in order to grab those materials. Now, I don't have 20 minutes, guys. You may well level 15. Good on you, mate. I don't know if Family Cloud, if you go back a little bit earlier in the video, if you've only recently joined, I give amazing tip for leveling up your characters really fast. Just so that you know, I only built Bunny a few hours ago, and she's level 33, and old Lepic here is level 29, and that's the one I started with, and I haven't put him through the same method of leveling up. But it definitely, if you've built, or if you've got a new or a second Descendant, third, fourth, or whatever, if you follow my tip that is a little bit earlier in the video, then you can rapidly level up your characters. If you're level 15, I went in with Bunny at level 10 this morning. I spent an hour doing the grind. You'll see exactly the method. And after that hour, she was level 26. So 16 level increase in an hour, including a couple of mastery ranks and 6 tabs in the battle pass. So definitely a good, easy way, by the way. It's very easy. You'll see when you see what I did. Very easy way of leveling up your character. Now, I can't do 20 minutes because my dinner is going to be ready in 10 minutes. But that's what you would do. We'd start that. This door would open. We'd go into essentially it's like a mini... this dude's about to do it. Hello, me old mate. You all right there, bro? And he's hoping I'm going to do it. Typically this kind of a thing is a public... you'll be match made with 2 or 3 other people. You won't be in on your own, and it's telling you there that the monster is level 33, which is fine because I think she's level 33 as well. Yep, so we wouldn't have an issue with that. But we'll just wander around this world. You have a grappling hook. I haven't shown you this yet. Oh, didn't do so well with my grappling hook there. Let's try again. Nice music as well. I mean, the whole game is just really nicely done. Obviously, I don't start without at least one other player. Yeah, no, I some of that stuff is pretty tough. But I normally play with a friend or a couple of friends, and it's a great little co-op game, to be fair. But look at this, the beauty of these worlds. Look at this giant tree. It's almost the level of Death Stranding. It really is gorgeous. Very nicely done. But yeah, they've clearly borrowed from a lot of games, a lot of existing games. Let's grab that, which is fine. I have no issues with that at all. I know some people who have been playing it, and there is a massive issue. Absolutely, between priority and ultimate. You're not wrong there, my friend. And if you have access to Boostroid 4K, you can get a similar experience as well with them. Yeah, it's a good little game, but it is a grind. It's even if you're doing it without paying any extra cash, you have to be prepared to put the time in, and more importantly, there is a lot to learn. I mean, I've just glossed over a few things. I didn't, for example, show you that if we look at the side of these weapons, you have these modules, which is, again, very familiar. or if you're into Warframe, or if you've ever played Warframe, this kind of a process will be familiar with you. You can add modules to boost various stats on your weapon, like your critical hits or accuracy and so on. Like Warframe, you can have it recommend various modules that might work for this particular weapon. And you have up to 47 in this case. It doesn't start at, I think it starts at 40. So we've got another 5 module capacity. So technically we could add a 4 in there. We don't have the slot, so it ain't going to happen. Or you can remove these and replace them with these. So, you know, depending on the encounter, if we were going to go, that monster that we're going to encounter in a second, we could go off and research that one and see what damage it is susceptible to, and then we could add modules for our weapon or even our Descendant. If we discovered that it's susceptible to fire, for example, we might want to go, okay, what have we got down here? We've got a fire enhancement module. Let's take out that one, replace it with the fire enhancement one. Let's have a look over here at our components. Is there anything in here that's going to enhance fire? And so on and so forth. And similarly with our Descendant, we've actually got a new one here, increased defense. So, but I love just clicking on the recommended and letting it choose. There you go, save that one, and finding the best ones. But that is a general recommendation. So as I've said, if you have a situation with a particular boss that's susceptible to a particular attribute, then you'll want to manage those manually. But the good news is you don't have to stick with it. You've got 3 settings, so you can create different groups of modules for different, like maybe a generic one for just running around doing missions, one that's maybe for toxin, one that's maybe for fire, depending on, again, what your character kind of does. So lots and lots of choice. So I would certainly recommend playing it. It's free. I would recommend watching a few of the beginner videos. They're starting to appear now. Some of them are pretty good, some of them are not. So pays your money, takes your choice. I would try and find the more recent beginner training videos. There are older ones because there've been a succession of public betas, or betas. So you'll find a lot of older videos, but the game has changed since those early days. They've added some features, taken some of those features away. So I would recommend looking at the more recent ones and be careful that they've not just republished it with a newer date, just to get a bit of a feel of what the whole thing is about. Woohoo! And then you'll be in a really good place to go. Of course, using my skill base, my grindy trick to level up your character as well. Super speedy. So there you go. I'm gonna head out now. Hopefully that's given you, particularly if you're new to the game, and even if you've been playing it for a while, hopefully that's going to give you some thoughts, insights, and tips. Those little fellas pop up all over the place. Good just for picking up health and what have you. But there's a lot to the game. There's lots of places to explore. As I've said before, this is just one area, which is broken up into quadrants. Hello, Neil. How are you, my friend? And if we go back up the map, you can see we were there in Vespers with those different quadrants, but there are plenty more areas to explore. In fact, Agna Desert was one of the areas, wasn't it, that had some of the materials that we would be needing for one of our Descendants. So I've still got 5 more areas to unlock. And that's not counting all of the missions and bits and pieces in these areas that I've already unlocked that I haven't necessarily completed. So lots and lots to do. Great for free. If you don't ever plan on spending a penny in this game, there's still loads and loads to do. It really isn't a difficult game, even though it gets harder. The the more proficient you become and the higher level your character becomes, you typically don't do anything solo. Even if you don't play with somebody you know, you'll be given the opportunity to matchmake into the bigger encounters, and when you're running around the world doing stuff, you will encounter other folk, because it is ultimately an MMO as well, so you won't be alone. There'll be somebody around to join you and have fun, help you through stuff. And if you do die, well, that's fine. It's not a roguelike. You don't lose all your stuff at all. And you start really quickly as well. You just... If I find a quick way to die, sometimes you can just drop off stuff. I don't know that I can here. But you'll see that you just literally come back into the game in seconds. But just beautifully made, just gorgeously crafted and designed. Here we go, let's jump off of here. And boop, there you go. So there's no massive penalty for dying. We'll pick that up though. Thank you. So someone, hear that gunfire? Somebody's involved in a mission somewhere. There you go, there's Swan and two other fellas, or fellaresses. You can just join in there and help them out. And in helping them out, you'll get stuff. And they'll love you for it. We'll have to stay in this little area here and shoot things. There you go, mission complete. We just happened upon it, and that's going to give us some XP and some bits and pieces. We actually picked up something decent there, by the way. Let's have a quick look in the weapons section. There you go, we got this thing. A little sniper rifle. Not bad at all. A little shotgun that's got some decent DPS on it. There you go. We just happened upon them. That's how it works. And that's what will happen when you're playing. People will just suddenly gravitate towards the noise and join in and help you out. So it's all good. So there you go. Sorry for those of you that have just joined, but my dinner's ready and I'm going to go now. Please do go back to the beginning of the video if you've got any interest in this game, and you'll see that you will find my super duper tip for rapid leveling up of a character. And certainly those of you with more than one Descendant. Oh, mate. Oh, Neil. I haven't come down from my cloud yet, my friend. And it's better than that, because it's not even tribal. I genuinely think that even the most cynical and those that have swallowed the Daily Mail hook, line and sinker are going to be so pleased with how the country is going to turn out in the coming months. So yeah, it's excellent, mate, isn't it? It's all good. It's all very, 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 very good. I still haven't woken up properly, I did an all-nighter. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. It's yeah, even beyond my wildest dreams so far, my friend, to be honest with you. And it's just great to see the positivity everywhere as well. Even people that I've seen, so many people say, oh, I would never have voted Labour, but I'm really pleased with how they've started. My big fear right now is how things are going to go in November in the States, because I think that MAGA are planning on a Trump win no matter what, and that will simply mean colleges, irrespective of the popular vote. It will go to the colleges. There will be some colleges shenanigans. It will go to the courts. The courts will send it to the Supreme Courts, and you absolutely know how the Supreme Courts are going to go. So I think unless there's a change in law, Trump wins, and I think they all know that. I don't know about whether Biden knows it, but I'm absolutely convinced that the Republicans do. And I know it's not my country and it's not really my business, but it does affect me. It does affect us. I've said this to so many people that have said, mind your own business. And I said, well, sadly, America's the largest economy in the world. And if Trump decides to pull out from supporting Ukraine and Russia expand, then that's going to cost me. That's going to mean a potential European war. So, yeah, it does affect me, and it is massively concerning. So, not a lot I can do about it, but other than hope and pray. But there you go. What a way to end the video. It's your fault, Neil. I wasn't planning on talking about politics. Go and grab yourself a copy of this game and play it and befriend me. Just so you know, there we go. I am Rokk Show, hashtag 7149. And if you friend me, I absolutely will reciprocate, and let's jump in and play some of this stuff together. It'd be great to see you guys. That's it. I'm out of here. Have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic week, and I will be back on Thursday with Ray for actually what is sadly the last Rokk and Ray for some time. Probably the thick end of 3 or 4 weeks. So do join us and enjoy the show. And I will see you guys Thursday. Take care. I keep doing that. I know that pauses it. I shouldn't do it. Take care. Rock out. Do, 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 do.